Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Sports Mixtape. We've got a good one for you here this week. I'm joined once again by my co-hosts Brent and Jimmy. We just came out of 4th of July weekend. How was your guys' 4th of July weekend?
Hot. It was hot,
Sweltering.
and I spent my 4th of July night with my dog because she was freaking out, and it's not going to happen again next year.
Got to give her that, doggy Valium?
Yeah.
Give her an extra one.
Yeah,
Put her
I'll
in
give
the
her
closet.
2 next year.
All right, well, this episode, we are going to go over our not all-time, let's say kind of mid to late 80s till current day. It's guys that we grew up watching play ball.
Yeah, we were all
guys
born
that
in the
were,
80s.
That were still watching play ball. But our ultimate all-star lineup, we're going to go, first base all the way around to catcher, starting pitcher, a closing pitcher, and a DH guy. This one, made me reminisce a lot about these old all-star games, and a lot of guys to choose from. I went with a pretty specific era, but I do got a couple guys who are still in the league. So
and don't forget too. I think you mentioned this at the end of or I don't know if it was on or off camera. Well, I didn't pick one, but I'm just remembering this now. We got to pick our ultimate home run derby competitor.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got to pick like one derby guy.
Ooh. I think it's a guy I created on one of those games.
Man, I tell you what, 4th of July just screams baseball to me.
Yeah,
like this
for
time
sure.
of year, and All-Star Weekend is like, it's such an incredible weekend, and I've got to say it's a little extra painful this year for me and Brad because our beloved polar bear is not wearing. He's still wearing orange, but he's not wearing the blue and orange.
No.
And I looked today, and polar bear's having another polar bear type season. 60 RBIs, 19 home runs.
The heart of
We
the Mets
can't-
got ripped out this year.
completely. But yeah, this was a fun exercise.
Yeah, this was tough. I mean, coming up with your favorite, just one guy from each position is
Very hard to do. I'm always curious what the overlap's going to be.
Yeah.
And when we get done, there's a few guys I just want to shout out that it was very hard keeping them off the team. I feel like they deserve at least a mention.
I think we'll have a few overlaps here, but
Yeah.
How about we go ahead and throw our starting pitcher?
How about it?
Let's see who we have dueling on the mound.
all right.
Who are you going to throw out there? I mean, we're like I said, we're taking this back from about the mid '80s to current day, so there's a lot of people to choose from.
Very hard decision.
Different style of game nowadays.
There was
too, when
one
it comes
guy
to
that,
pitching.
always comes to mind. I was telling them, these are guys that, me personally, I was excited to watch play, not necessarily the best at their position, although most of these guys probably are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead and start it out there, Jay.
Nolan Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan, the strikeout king, that is my starting pitcher. He still holds the MLB record for strikeouts, 5,714. Don't know if that'll ever be broken.
That's never getting touched.
7 no-hitters in his lifetime. The guy was tough as nails, leader of the team. He'd hit you, and there's nothing you could do about it, and several guys found that out by trying to charge the mound. But this guy was a show. Every time he pitched, it was like must-see TV.
The iconic, symbolic Nolan Ryan moment was when he got hit in the face with that ball. It split his lip wide open, and he's got blood all over his Rangers jersey, and he's just still out there.
Yeah,
They don't build him. He was the John Wayne of baseball.
Oh God, he was so tough and
Didn't
fun
he
to
used
watch.
to do commercials for either like Tylenol or Bayer
Yeah,
or
probably.
something like that? Yeah, he had those commercials. But yeah, this is you want to talk about like load management,
Yeah.
resting guys and arm
Didn't
injuries.
exist.
No, not back then.
No.
Couple pots of black coffee,
Couple cigarettes and
chewing up some
The
cigarettes.
guy's 324 wins. He played for 27 seasons. You just don't see that anymore. But
No.
yeah,
Well,
that's my pick.
He was this was a the toughest pick for me, I think. And
Yeah,
he was one of my top 3.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of longevity, I got a guy who had a 23-year career. Very different skill set than Nolan Ryan. This guy's an ultimate pitcher. He did not have the cannon rocket arm.
Nope.
I got the professor.
I want this guy.
I got the Professor Greg Maddux here.
The highest IQ in the game.
And just a guy that I love to watch pitch. I mean, pitching was an art for him. He was not going to blow the ball by you. He lived in that like 88 to 92 mile an hour range, had movement on everything, and was like a scientist out there on the mound.
4 consecutive Cy Youngs.
You have him as well?
This is my starting pitchers too.
4 straight.
Maddox.
Yeah.
100%.
Tortured the Mets.
Even Tony Gwynn had trouble. He did the best against him, but he still had trouble.
Gwynn had some good numbers against Maddox.
Tony Gwynn was good against everyone.
But yeah, you're right, Brad. 4 straight, not just 4 Cy Youngs, 4 in a row.
That's incredible.
18 Gold Gloves.
Yeah. And in that range of those 4 Cy Youngs, you could make the argument he had back-to-back best years of a pitcher in the modern era in 94 and 95. Now listen, we're in the midst of like the Ken Griffey Jr. Super Nintendo where these guys are all, they look like WWF stars.
Yeah.
And in 94 and 95, he had ERAs back-to-back years of 1.56 and 1.63.
He looked like his uniform didn't fit.
Yeah.
Unhittable.
Yeah. And with those glasses out there.
Well, now baseball's changed again, where you had a lot of those types of pitchers. Now everyone just wants to throw gas. I mean, as hard as they can.
And it was brilliant because this was back in the day when you had human umpires, which I'm still a huge fan of. And a pitcher was really, really good at slowly, inning by inning, getting that umpire to expand the zone just a little bit. And that's what like Maddox and Glavine, they were masters at that. The guys did not throw the hardest. Everything had movement. And they just kept batters guessing nonstop.
I think you've told the story before on here of his go at Jeff Bagwell at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
During
a regular season
to
game.
set him up for a playoff.
Let him hit a home run. Yeah. Well, and it was amazing too because Maddox was a guy who called his own pitch. Eddie, now I'm not sure if you remember, Javi Lopez was the famed like Braves stud, but Maddox's guy was Eddie Lopez. Remember how every team had a backup catcher and they would always sync with one pitcher?
Yep.
Well, Maddox called his own game, and if you go back and like watch tape of Maddox, he would do it with like signs on his own body. So like, and that's how
he would tell the catcher what he was throwing.
and that's the kind of guy you want to play defense behind because he was quick.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got a term named after him, a Maddox. A complete game in less than 100 pitches.
That's crazy.
The guy was just unbelievable.
Good
All right,
choice.
so let's move along to who's going to be catching our starting pitchers and go with our starting catchers.
All right. Catchers for me, there's a guy, I'm a Yankee fan. I didn't load this lineup really with many Yankees at all, but this is one of the guys I want, and that's Jorge Posada.
I figured you'd have him.
Yeah, I mean, switch hitter with power from both sides of the plate. From 2000 to 2011, no catcher in baseball drove in more runs or hit more home runs than Posada. Just the guy was fiery. He would get in your face. He would get in the umpires' faces. He protected his teammates. He was just awesome to have on the team. And, the postseason came around. And, he doesn't have the best career numbers, but the guy was just a stud in the postseason for the Yankees.
He got it done when it mattered.
Yeah. Very clutch. So,
I don't think Posada wore batting gloves either.
No, he was a very
gritty. No batting gloves.
Very old
spit in your
school.
hands.
Yeah, Jorge Posada.
Good
that's
pick.
my guy.
All right, catching Maddox for me, I got Yadier Molina. You could make the argument he's the best defensive catcher the game has ever seen. Guy could also hit a little bit too. Won 2 World Series, but had an absolute cannon for an arm. Struck fear in base runners.
Yeah.
And what I loved about him, he was notorious for picking guys off of first base. Just that whip down throw from his knees. A leader, too. I think he caught like 4 no-hitters during his time. And him and Wainwright, I still think hold records for like the most games, of a battery, like a pitcher and a catcher. And I'm telling you, those Cardinals teams were some good ball teams.
Yeah, I mean, they won one World Series.
He got 2.
Okay,
So David Freese there.
Series,
yeah, they knocked the Mets out a couple years in the playoffs there when the Mets had good teams.
Yeah, he was a stud for a long time too.
Yeah, and another like feisty competitor. You know, those guys from the Latin American countries, like they played with a little extra something.
That's why I like catchers too, because they are kind of like the protectors of the team.
Yeah.
So you want your catcher to be tough.
Exactly.
Well, no rollover on this one. I'm going with Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think you go wrong with any of those three.
I made a list of several guys for each position. They were both on there.
Pudge could swing a stick. Near 300 career batting average. 2,800 hits, 311 home runs. Holds the record for most games played as at catcher.
Yeah.
Holds the record for 13 most Gold Gloves by a catcher. So he's got the defense, he's got the offense, he's a team leader. I think he'd be a great matchup with Maddox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that we could run scenarios when we put the teams together to see which team would actually win.
Yeah, you're getting good with that AI, Jimmy. You might be able to simulate a game here for us.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Let's take it over to see who our catchers are going to be throwing behind on first base.
All right. So first base for me, this was in a guy from my childhood that was larger than life kind of figure at first base.
He did not look like he was supposed to be playing baseball.
6'5", 240 pounds, massive home runs, and that is Frank the Big Hurt Thomas.
Yeah.
This guy, just as a kid, watching him step up to the plate, it was like a show in itself. But the guy ended up with over 500 home runs, over 2,400 hits, 301 batting average. He was a power hitter, but he was like a legit hitter. It wasn't just power. Like, this guy was hard to get out. He didn't chase pitches.
High average.
Very high average. And as I was looking, I didn't realize he played tight end at Auburn for 3 games. We will put that in there. But he was like an all-state football player in high school, a tight end.
I think he could have done anything he wanted to do.
Well, the only reason he didn't continue playing is because he was such a good baseball player for Auburn that he kept on playing. He wanted focus on that. But this is a guy, Frank Thomas. Had to have him at first base.
2 things. I personally say no to this question. Do you think he was ever in that juice era? I think the guy was just a natural phenomenon.
He was so big even before that. Like, if you look at pictures of him in high school and college.
Yeah, when he came into the league, he was mad. I don't think he had to take them, but
he was a hoss.
Him and guys like Cecil Fielder, they were just built different.
But I think him and Doug Flutie are on him now.
Eugenics.
Yeah.
Those commercials. Making all the ladies happy. Second thing, do you remember, I want to say it was Pizza Hut. They had this black foam bat. It was a Frank Thomas bat and ball. So if you got like a certain amount of personal pan pizzas or something, they give you this foam bat. And
I don't remember that, but that's awesome.
We used to have home run derbies with it.
Nice.
That was great.
The best thing about like home run derbies as a kid was, I know Brad and I did this, and I know other people did this. You would mimic guys. You'd be like Bagwell. You'd be like Sheffield. You'd be like
you'd have to do their stance.
Griffey. And for that guy's 10 ounce, you had to hit like him, and that was always
used to do that all the time.
It was always so much fun.
Yeah.
Cecil Fielder. I mean, there were so many guys. Juan Gonzalez,
Jay Buhner.
Good, Chicago White Sox. Frank Thomas, good one.
So my first baseman, in my opinion, is one of the best pure hitters the game has ever seen. In 2012, he made history. First guy in 45 years to hit for the Triple Crown. I got Miguel Cabrera.
Okay.
Spent the majority of his career in Detroit. But what stood out to me the most, once every so often, you have these guys come September and October in postseason play. They're young kids, and they make a difference. You think of Andrew Jones as a 19-year-old. Well, Miggy was 20, coming up with the Marlins the year that they beat the Yankees in that World Series, and he had a phenomenal playoff and World Series run.
He was
Unfortunately,
fantastic.
yes, he did.
He started his career as a third baseman, but played the majority of his career at first base and DH. And again, this guy's numbers incredible, but like I'm willing to say, like, if it was bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, and I needed a hit of any guy in the history of the game, maybe right next to Tony Gwynn, I'm putting Miguel Cabrera up there. The guy was just a same thing like Frank Thomas. Didn't hit for power, but didn't just hit for power.
And he was like a pudge ball, but
Yeah.
he was so hard to get out. But yeah, that's a great choice.
I think he could still be playing. Would he just retire maybe
Couple
2,
years.
3 years ago?
Couple
Yeah.
years ago, I think, yeah.
Great pick. I don't think either one matches up with La Máquina. I'm not the machine. I'm just Albert. Albert Pujols, we're starting him at first base.
Okay.
Only 4 guys have ever hit over 700 home runs in their career. He's one of them. So he got 3 National League MVP awards, 2 World Series titles. The guy just mashed bombs.
Another guy that was good for a long time.
Yeah, but a solid defensive first baseman as well. The guy, all around, probably go down as top 2 or 3 best first baseman in history.
Yeah, Pujols, he was nasty.
He could rake.
Great hitter.
Yeah. Simple, too. What a simple swing he had. The timing mechanism, I love it.
Very
Yeah.
compact.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
And again, big part of those Cardinals teams that we were just talking about.
Huge.
Those Cardinals teams were good.
Wainwright, Pujols, and
yeah.
Molina.
And you remember
Yep.
David Freese had that
Yeah.
one World Series
Yep.
where he just went nuts. There was another guy on that team I'm going to save for a little bit later on, but those teams were good, those Cardinal squads.
Oh, they killed us when Daniel Murphy went on that playoff run. What do you have, like 7 home runs in 6 games?
Yeah, against the Dodgers. yeah.
And the Cardinals took us out.
And then what did we do to Murphy? We gave him up.
We gave
the
him
next
away.
year to Washington.
Hey, why hold on to your best players?
Why would you do that?
All right, slide in next to us at second base. Jimmy, please don't tell me you put Chuck Knobloch.
I put Chuck Knobloch. No, I'm just kidding.
He's got an ex-Met on there.
You remember the yips that Knobloch had?
I remember
he
it? I
couldn't touch
couldn't even
anywhere near first base.
I mean, that lasted for a while. And look, he was like, I don't know. I'm in my own head, which was crazy to hear players say that you can't throw from halfway between first and second base to first
he was
base.
throwing it in the stands.
Happened to Mackey Sasser, catcher for the Mets. You guys remember Rick Ankiel?
Oh yeah,
It became a stud center fielder
was
because he
great
couldn't
center
pitch
fielder,
anymore.
yeah.
It happened to Kevin Costner in Tin Cup. All right.
great movie. All right, yeah, for second base.
Knobloch just needed to put his change in his other back pocket.
Exactly. My second baseman that I picked, another guy from when I was younger, Jeff Kent.
Yeah.
Ex-Met.
Guy was always pissed off at something.
Mostly at Bonds.
Yeah. And I loved it, but I think he batted right. He was the hitter right before Bonds.
Yeah, he could hit.
Which played a huge role for both of them. But the guy wasn't afraid of confrontation. Just hit bombs. I mean, 30 home runs every year. That year after year after year, it was just crazy for a second baseman.
Yeah, you didn't see a lot of power at that position.
No, second base was at that point was not known. I mean, he was definitely different than other second basemen with the power they had. And he won an MVP in 2000.
And I mean, let's just face it. Some people would argue. You look at all these young kids now. You could make the argument that back in the '80s, the mustache was a real fashion statement. Some might argue it went out of style, but you're seeing all these young kids with mustaches now. Well, with Jeff Kent, it never went out of style.
No.
He rocked that stash his whole career.
He rocked it. He still holds the record for second baseman, home runs for second baseman. But
Yeah, good pick.
Cubs, Giants, Mets.
And was a Met before the Giants.
Was he on the Cubs first? Maybe, I don't even know. I just know the Giants and the Mets.
Mets had him for a period of time, but he really took off on the Giants.
Yeah.
And when you're protected in the lineup by Barry Bonds, you're going to see some good pitches to hit. All right, my second baseman, this might be my favorite player on my whole list. He's a first-team dirty uniform guy. This guy always had a dirty uniform, and I love those guys. They were stealing bases, they were sliding, they were diving. I'm going to give you something here. He's one of very few players to have been an all-star at 2 different positions.
Let me guess.
Started his career as a catcher.
I know. Let me guess. Craig Biggio.
Yes. Craig Biggio. There's so many things I love about this guy. He was a smaller, undersized guy. He played his whole career with one team, the Houston Astros. All-star at 2 positions. But get this. He's the only guy in MLB history to do all of these things. 3,000 hits, 600 doubles, 400 stolen bases, and 250 home runs. Craig Biggio is the epitome of a leadoff hitter to me. I still think he holds the record in the National League. I think Ricky Henderson has it in the American League. But I think in the National League for most home runs to lead off a game. And he was part of that fearsome Astros the B attack of Bagwell, Biggio, and Berkman. Those guys could all swing the bat. So, yeah, I'm going Craig Biggio as my second baseman.
Great choice.
All right, I'm going to take a Hall of Famer. The guy's got 17 seasons in the majors, 10 gold gloves. Roberto Alomar. We enjoyed watching him probably mostly with the Orioles and the Indians.
Love Roberto Alomar.
This guy, one of the best defensive infielders of all time. Yeah. Just a magical glove. Batted a career 300, over 200 home runs. But a wizard on the base path as well.
Yep.
Guy knew how to always make it to the next base safe. It's huge for teams with base runners and not having mental errors on the base path. But, remember Carlos Baegra, Albert Bell.
Indians.
Those Indians teams were fun.
His brother was the catcher, Sandy Alomar.
Yep.
Albert Bell, again, probably one of the best hitters of that time.
So dirty.
Such an underrated hitter.
What a stance. I loved his stance.
He's
the only guy to get beamed by a ball and refuse to take his base.
Those Cleveland teams were legit. They used to give the Yankees fits back in the day.
Those Cleveland teams, I'm telling you, Omar Vizquel.
I was going to say Omar Vizquel.
Could have very easily been on.
Yeah, Kenny Lofton on those teams too.
Those were great teams. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's shift over to
Jim Thome,
who our second base.
Those Indian teams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those teams were stacked.
Who is our second baseman turning 2 with over at shortstop, Jimmy?
All right, well, you mentioned Magical Glove, and there's no more of a Magical Glove, in my opinion, in MLB history than the Wizard of Oz himself, Ozzie Smith.
Good choice.
Defensive guru.
Cannon in the hole, too.
This guy, he would make a statement. He'd come running out of the dugout to take the field, and he'd run out and do a backflip before basically most games that he would play.
He had to do that because he's playing in an era where guys are coming to take you out.
Yeah.
So when he's turning 2, he's doing backflips and throwing the first.
But, this guy, I think he only had 28 career home runs. But, he hit for contact. He stole bases, 15-time All-Star, 13 consecutive Gold Gloves, 580 stolen bases, over 2,400 hits, Hall of Famer. This guy, you really tuned in to just see what he was going to do on defense for the most part, and it was usually something magical.
He has the single greatest defensive play in baseball history, in my opinion. Ball hit up the middle. He's going. He lays out to dive for it. The ball hits a rock, kicks the other way. He bare hands it as he's going this way, throws a seed to first base to get the guy out.
Unreal.
The guy was
absolutely
just
unbelievable.
A freak show.
Play. Yeah, and always played the game with a big smile on his face.
Yeah, I had a tough time not.
He was a fan favorite. Yeah, there's a lot of good shortstops you can go with here.
Oh yeah.
I had to go with. honestly, my favorite baseball player to ever watch play, Derek Jeter, the captain.
I got him too.
Class act, played the game the right way.
Blasphemy, Jimmy.
Super clutch postseason hitter, Mr. November. But the thing I loved about Jeter, man, he never took plays off. He could hit a routine out to the shortstop, and he was busting butt down the first base line. The guy played the game the right way. And in the biggest market, the New York Yankees starting shortstop, the guy never had drama and trouble. Always said the right thing. I'm a little salty about this, with A.J. Brown and the Jaylen Brown situation and some of these other guys on teams that I root for.
Yeah.
You got to keep that stuff in-house.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give the media those like little things to take and run with. And Jeter was just a master.
Mr.
That.
Clutch, just
the captain, captain of any team.
I actually had several Yankees on this list, but I feel like I've talked about them so much that
I had to put him because
I was trying to give some other guys a little love, but
yeah.
That's an excellent choice, guys.
He won some of those games on defense alone.
Yeah.
All right. Derek Jeter was mine. Everyone knows Jeter.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say about him. Take it over to third base. This one, a lot of good options again, but I got someone who's still in the league.
I have a Met here at third base. As I was going through, like, writing down third baseman, this is a guy that you wish never got injured, like one of the biggest what-ifs, but David Wright. This guy, he was just face of a franchise. He could do it all, hit, run,
good glove.
Play the field. Captain America had that... what do you have? A walk-off grand slam? Was it
World Baseball Classic?
Yep, grand slam.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a guy. You feel like he got robbed.
That was David Wright's my third baseman. Also, I had to put a Met in here. One of my favorite Mets to watch play. Like Jimmy said, he had some of those like Jeter-esque. I'm not comparing him to Jeter. He doesn't have the rings. But he played the game the right way.
Yeah.
Hustle, fan favorite. The guy just a good role model, good dude. And as a Mets fan, there hasn't been tons of consistency in the organization. You could count on David Wright to hit 300 with 30 home runs and give you close to 100 RBIs. And just a shame that he ended up with some of the back issues that really shortened his career.
Spinal stenosis.
Yeah.
I didn't research what that is, but
towards the end,
it doesn't sound good.
I remember reading things where towards the end of his career, he used to have to get to the field hours before the game just to get loosened up and warmed up enough to be able to play. And he's another, we had Jeter, I had Biggio. He's another one-team guy. I love these guys that, stayed with one team the majority of, not the majority, their entire career. You don't see that very often.
Grew up not far from here either.
Yeah, he went to Hickory High School up there in Chesapeake.
So this guy did not stay with the same team. He's been on 3 teams. He chased the World Series ring at one point. The Minister of Defense. Let's go with Manny Machado.
Ooh.
Yep.
I remember when he came in the league with Baltimore, and the plays that he made at third base were mind-blowing. And the throws. So unbalanced, going towards the third base dugout, off back foot, and hosing people.
What he just did in the World Baseball Classic.
Twice in a row.
Unreal.
Yeah. He could rake the ball. I think he's almost 400 home runs by now in his career. Batted 275, 2,100 hits, and like I said, he went and chased the ring with the Dodgers back in 2018.
What is he on the Padres now?
Okay. With the Padres for some time.
Baltimore.
Now.
It's
Dodgers,
tough.
Padres.
Yeah.
It's tough with those, it's a part of sports, and good on these guys for making their money, but it's so hard when you get these small market teams that draft an absolute stud and they can't keep them.
Can't hang on.
It's tough. You see it all the
time.
It's
even worse when you're one of these big market teams and you have the funds to pay your superstars.
You let
them walk.
Your fan favorites. Oh, sorry, Pete.
Oh, God.
All right, moving right along to the outfield. Let's go with left field. Let's start left field. This one for me, I kept hitting in mind. I was like, you know what? I need a leadoff hitter for my left fielder.
Well,
Someone else might have one.
this is a guy. I mean, he was just. This is one of my favorite picks here because I loved watching him play.
Ricky loves Ricky too.
Yeah, the best thing is that he spoke about himself in the
I
third
had
person.
that. Ricky Henderson,
Yeah.
like one of the all-time greats.
He's mine. Yeah.
The guy all-time stolen base king. No one will ever break that. Over 1,400 career stolen bases, 130 stolen bases in one season. Led the league 12 times. Almost 300 home runs, over 2,200 runs scored. But yeah, like they were saying, people really thought he was cocky because he would talk in the third person and like compliment himself sometimes in the third person. Like he'd be like, "Yeah, Ricky's the best," and it would confuse some people. But I thought it was hilarious.
That was my favorite part about it.
And he backed up all that cockiness like he was just a stud.
He
could back it up.
Dude was a ball of muscle.
Oh,
I want to
gosh.
know how many hits he accumulated on infield hits because how quick out of the box he was too.
Just a ball of muscle. His stolen bases, I mean, yeah, what'd you say, 130 in a single season?
Yeah, it was just crazy. That's his
outrageous.
MLB record as well.
Yeah, good choice. You said you had him too, Brad?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Ricky.
You need that solid leadoff hitter.
It's a great choice. So for my left fielder, he started his career in left field. He played most of his career in right field, but I needed a guy over there. I'm taking Tony Gwynn, another one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
This guy's the best hitter of the modern era.
Yep.
Literally,
Got a lot of base hitters on it.
highest career average of anyone whose career began after World War II. This guy hit 338. Closest we've had to 400. The strike shortened 93 season. He was hitting 394 during that year. Here's the thing, though. This is what is like crazy. But first off, freak athlete too. Was drafted for basketball and baseball on the same day.
He didn't really look like a freak athlete.
Not at all. But like how Maddox studied pitching, they said that he was like a just so into film and studying hitting and the intricacies of hitting. But here's where it really stands out. You got some guys that make a career hitting bad pitching, but when the playoffs come or they face good pitchers, they struggle. I just want you guys to hear these stats. In his career, Tony Gwynn faced 18 Hall of Fame pitchers. His batting average off of those 18 guys, 331. Two of the more iconic of his career were Greg Maddux and Pedro Martinez. He hit 415 against Maddux and 444 against Pedro for his career. That is ridiculous.
I mean, that guy was bulletproof at the plate. He could hit anyone. He was awesome to watch.
Yeah, so
Such a soft-spoken guy too.
Tony's getting slotted in, I think, is my two-hitter behind Biggio. Those guys are going to score a lot of runs.
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of had almost like that, sounded like a country accent a little bit,
The Randy
Yep.
Moss.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
All right, well, Ricky was my left fielder. Can't go wrong with Ricky. You want to go right field and then end our fielders on center?
Sure.
Let's hit right field, guys.
Who do I have? Right field.
It's another current player for me.
We have the same next two.
Okay. I have Vladdy Guerrero Sr.
Me too.
I mean, just go and watch this guy's highlights from the field.
I know.
Watch the home runs that he hits that bounce off the plate. It's just incredible the things that this guy could do. He grew up wrestling bulls. I saw this stat that I wanted to say from 1998 to 2008. So for a 10-year period, he averaged 35 home runs, 112 RBIs, 185 hits, and a 325 batting average.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
One of the most raw baseball players of all time. He was another no batting gloves guy.
Yep.
I'm convinced that you could see sawdust coming out of the bat from how hard he gripped it. This guy never got cheated at the plate. He swung so hard. and had an absolute rocket for an arm.
Another no batting gloves guy.
He's one, if you want to take a fun little YouTube rabbit hole, go look up Vladimir Guerrero outfield throws.
Yes.
Just an absolute piss missile for an arm.
Yeah, and the home run, I mean, he'd hit pitches 2 feet above his head sometimes for, home runs. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was awesome to watch.
Yeah, Vlad Sr. is my choice as well.
Love it. This one is still playing. His arm rivals Vlad's, and this is the Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Ooh, good choice.
The guy just since Vlad, I haven't seen an arm like that.
Yeah.
5-tool player.
And since Bo Jackson, you didn't see an arm like that till Vlad came along.
That throw he had either last year or the year before was unbelievable.
Against the Yankees.
And he was backstepping as he caught it.
Yeah. So he's comes into the league before he ever plays an MLB game, signs a $100 million contract. You know you're working with someone
they knew he would be a
who's a
stud.
baller.
Yep.
Yeah.
And goes on to win Rookie of the Year. I think he's got an NL MVP award also.
Yeah.
And just getting started.
5-tool guy. Can
Yep.
run, can throw, hits for average, hits for power.
Health.
Flashes the leather. He's
Health
a 5-tool
is his
guy.
only concern with a long career. But he joined the 40-40 club, 40-70 club real quick.
Yeah, he'll be a Hall of Famer before it's said and done.
But yeah, his rookie season though, he batted .293, 26 home runs in only 131 games.
Incredible.
The way to start your career.
Unbelievable.
All right.
All right, center field.
I
think
guarantee
we
we
have to
all
all
have the same
have
guy.
the same, right?
You wanted to see up here at all.
So-
You wanted his sneakers growing up.
The kids.
This is a
Swing.
guy, you had to put this guy as center field, especially growing up in our era.
It's the sweetest swing in baseball history.
You one of you guys want to take it? I feel like
This was Brad's favorite player
My
growing up.
favorite
Yeah,
all
Brad,
time. I was not a Mets fan for some period. I was a Seattle Mariners fan for a little bit of time. Ken Griffey Jr. takes the cake at center. On the defensive side and at the bat.
It's like Spider-Man scaling the wall.
The things the home runs he robbed and
like Spider-Man.
were just taken off the fence. Yeah, unreal. That's the swing everyone wanted to emulate.
Sweetest swing in baseball.
Yeah.
He had that little rock, had that back elbow up. And then, you know how you've got the Jumpman logo? Well, Nike had the Swingman logo. It was on the shoes.
I mean, yeah, he was
Those
the guy.
Seattle teams were cool teams, too. You had Jay Buhner, you had Edgar Martinez.
Yep.
Don't forget, Seattle drafted Alex Rodriguez. You had Randy Johnson on those teams. Those were some tough teams.
Yeah.
And Griffey gave us the greatest baseball video game of all time.
Yes.
First one with a home run derby, and the guys looked like they were all pumping roids in that video game.
I mean, look, Griffey is he's an icon. It's like you think of like Jordan in basketball. In baseball, to me, it's Ken Griffey. It's him going up to the home run derby and turning his hat around backwards.
Always smiling.
Always being smiling, being happy, but
and he's just a regular guy who will go out to dinner with his family at Chili's.
He had swag.
Jimmy and I met him in Buckhead. The Reds were in town playing the Braves.
I really appreciate
having a nice dinner. I got Brad's autograph for him.
Got me my autograph.
And big dude, obviously Griffey was like a tall, big, and this was later in his career where he got like
With
a little
the
bit
Reds?
thicker.
with the Reds, they're playing the
But
Braves.
also too, Griffey had a great arm and he could run. You know, he stole bases early in his career. Young Griffey and father-son combo. Griffey's dad played in Major League
I think
Baseball.
they're the only father-son duo to hit back-to-back home runs.
Yeah,
in
he
Major
was.
League.
He's
probably
another
just
one.
a lookalike. I probably got some guy's autograph whose real name is Ben Griffey.
Yeah.
He was another one where he had a couple years of injuries that really like robbed him during his prime.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if it was middle school or high school, but I remember Griffey homering in 8 straight games at one point. I think it's still a record in baseball, but the guy was unbelievable.
It pains me that he never got a World Series title.
Yeah.
Those Mariners teams were close a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Hope you left room for a DH.
I did.
I did too.
I think we all have the same DH. We have to. Right?
I don't think so. I got a clubhouse guy.
I went with
Good.
I went with a guy as well. This is a guy that I just loved watch playing, and this is Gary Sheffield. You want to talk about a home run hitter and someone that all they did was mash the baseball. He had that bat waggle.
He had to do that because his hands were too quick. He had to slow his bat speed down.
And that's the thing. He had some very, very fast hands. He stole bases too. People don't realize stole 250 bases. 500 plus home runs, 1,500 plus RBIs, 1,500 plus runs scored, plus 200 stolen bases.
Gary didn't play either. Remember when Pedro hit him that time?
He's
that's a great video.
Yeah, he's
Gary
like
around.
You don't want to, You didn't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah.
He always, he always had a big wad of, dip or chew in his lip or in his cheek, and just
the coolest timing mechanism.
He did it to slow his hands down. His hands were too quick. Little trivia here. You guys might not remember this. You might remember this. Gary Sheffield is a cousin of Doc Gooden.
Okay.
And Gary Sheffield was drafted as a shortstop by the Brewers before he ended up in the outfield years later. He came up with the Brewers as a shortstop.
I couldn't picture him being a shortstop.
His rookie card. He was another guy that...
Talk about come out of your shoes, though.
That's why, like I said, my list is guys that I loved watching play, and this guy would come up to bat, and I was like,
another guy with a
a
long career.
Yep.
was legit for a while. All right, my DH. This was hard. I went back and forth on guys here, and even now, I'm having a hard time deciding. I'm gonna save the clubhouse guy for the honorable mention, but my DH again. This guy could just flat out hit. You have to put him at DH because you can't have him in the outfield. I'm going Manny Ramirez.
Oh, you got to put him in the outfield. That's the most fun part.
Manny Ramirez has to be DH because he can't be playing left field, cutting off his other outfielders' throws.
Loved watching Manny.
That was the best when he cut off Johnny Damon's throw that time. He dove for it, too. He didn't just cut it off. He dove for it.
He was the best player.
I'm convinced Manny didn't really know half the time what was going on out there.
He had that Predator haircut for a period of time.
Those were those Boston teams. They were drinking beer in the dugout.
Yeah.
Talk about postseason dominance, though. This guy's one of the greatest playoff hitters of all time. Holds the record for most home runs with 29 and most RBIs with 79 in the playoffs. Manny Ramirez could just flat out hit it. The guy was born to hit a baseball.
He was a great ball player, and I hated the Red Sox, but I loved watching that guy play.
Absolutely.
I got another slugger. Barry Bonds. How do you guys leave him off?
I had him on there, and then I realized I hate him, so I took him off and put Gary Sheffield.
Look, I don't care, roids or not. You had guys taking roids throwing against you during that time as well. But
he was one of the
greatest hitter ever, in my opinion.
Some of those stats are crazy.
The stats on contact, if he wasn't getting intentionally walked, the guy put the ball in play all the time. Holds an all-time record, home runs.
Yeah.
Single season record, 72 home runs in a single season. And
73, I think.
how many, I can't remember how many times he got walked in that season, but he holds a record for 680 intentional walks.
There's a crazy stat about that season. How many times he got walked per plate appearance? It was every fourth plate appearance, every third plate appearance.
There's so many crazy statistics about those years that he was out there.
I saw some crazy video. I think this was after his career too, and maybe not too long ago. He was in Japan on some TV game show thing that was super famous in Japan, and they're throwing everything at him from the mound. They got someone on 12-foot tall stilts throwing from down. They got someone jumping on a trampoline and doing backflips and throwing, and he's hitting the ball 500 feet. Even on the down angle, coming from that far up, he's just mashing the ball.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch.
You could tell early in his career before he probably got on roids. He was a skinny kid, but he was a stud. He probably could have had a Hall of Fame career before that era.
He definitely was.
Oh, for sure. But you think he stole any of those 500 bases in his roid days? But first and only player with 500 home runs, 500 stolen bases.
Yeah. That's
the
crazy.
body transformations of some of those guys during that era.
I remember Gary Sheffield.
Remember Brady Anderson? Yeah. All of a sudden going from like 13 homers to like 51 or something.
Barry Bonds, his head grew. He had to get a different size hat because it wouldn't fit his head anymore. That's crazy.
The worst.
Those are some good protein shakes.
Oh man!
Back in the
one who was hiding it the least though, Jose Canseco. That guy was a madman.
That book is so great.
I remember one game.
That's right.
One game they were getting beat so bad they brought him in to pitch.
Jose.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh boy.
Well, that's quite a good lineup all around. I'd hate to face any of those teams.
Yep.
We have a closing
Is there any honorable mention? Oh.
Yeah, let's do our closer first. And I got a few honorables.
Yeah.
Does everyone have the same?
I have to.
You have to.
It's just the greatest closer of all time.
Yep.
Mariano Rivera.
Enter night, exit light.
Just incredible entry.
Automatic.
Yeah, those are the days the Yankees, if you had a lead after 8 innings, it was just like you could turn the TV off as a Yankee fan because it was a win.
And that's a great style matchup, like for me and Brent with Greg Maddux. Those guys could pinpoint, and every ball had so much movement on it.
The most impressive thing about Mariano Rivera was these are major league hitters. Every single hitter knew what pitch was coming, and they still couldn't hit it. He threw a cutter. That was it. That was Mo threw that cutter.
It's from another planet, that pitch.
Nobody could hit it.
Sawed off every player's bat.
Playoff ERA of 0.70.
And that's 141 innings pitched. That's crazy.
And did you know Mariano Rivera, upon retirement, started a church in New York, and his wife is the pastor of it?
Yeah, actually, I know his
nice.
The partner in the church actually went.
That's where Jimmy attends church on Sundays.
That's actually
Church of Mo.
My mom grew up in New York. One of the guys from the neighborhood,
really,
that they were all friends with,
that's pretty
is
cool.
also a pastor. He started the church of Mariano Rivera, and I actually talked to him about it. I don't know, several years ago I met him.
Soft-spoken leader.
Yeah.
It was just automatic. You knew it was a wrap.
It was great.
All right, so I had a few guys that I want to mention their name for just the joy of watching. They were very hard to keep off of this list. The reason I kept them off is I don't think they were quite as good as some of the other guys on the list. It's hard to say. I mean, you're talking about some of the all-time greats, but Jim Edmonds in center field.
Oh, yeah.
The guy was just a web gem machine. Still has some of the greatest catches of all
Diving
time.
catches were
He
insane.
could also swing the bat, too. Edmonds was a power hitter, big arm. One of my favorite second basemen ever to watch play was a Yankee, Robinson Cano. I love that guy. Glove magician, could hit. He was on the Mets for a brief period of time. The guy that I really debated back and forth for DH, this would have been for clubhouse morale. You need a guy like this on your team. Was John Kruk. Also had a great career. Was a dude that could hit. Phillies world champion. Had an incredible mullet back in the day. On those tough Phillies. Remember Darren Dalton, John Kruk, and Lenny Dykstra? You want to talk about a solid team on Ken Griffey Jr. baseball? That Phillies team was legit. And then I had another Yankee, Bernie Williams. I thought was just an unbelievable hitter.
I had Bernie Williams on my list before I took him off.
George Brett as a third baseman, another guy that was just built to hit the baseball. And then one guy I wanted to get a Met from the '86 team on there. Just couldn't find a way to get him in my starting lineup, but I loved Kevin Mitchell, and the Mets got rid of him. And he goes and hits 47 home runs for the Giants. You want to know the reason they got rid of Kevin Mitchell? You probably, if you watch the Mets documentaries,
because they signed Bobby Bonilla to 50 years.
He just got paid again the other day.
Doc and Darryl struggled with some off-field issues, and Kevin Mitchell was from like a rough neighborhood in California. I believe he was maybe from Compton, and Kevin Mitchell did not party, did not drink, didn't do anything. They traded him away because they thought he was a bad influence on Doc and Daryl. he ends up.
It probably saved him.
There was a year in the early '90s where Kevin Mitchell hit 47 home runs for the Giants. I mean, I think he's like a career 286 hitter. He has one of the second best defensive plays in history. He's running down towards the left field line, going to make a catch, overruns the ball, and bare hands it behind his head. He was also known as just like a dude you didn't mess with.
Yeah.
He was a tough dude.
We all left Ripken off the list, but another just solid captain, clutch player.
Yeah,
I mean, there are
pitchers.
I like Altuve for a second baseman as well. Guy can stroke the ball. Gets it done in playoff time, World Series time.
He's a cheater, but he could hit.
Yeah, well, half the guys on my list are.
That's true.
Otani could have been put on any of these. Albert Bell was another one I considered for DH.
Yeah. Kenny Lofton in center field.
Yeah, Lofton
leading off.
Yeah.
Mo Vaughn.
Yeah,
Ooh, Cecil at first.
Scott.
Cecil
You
Fielder
guys remember Scott Rollins on the Phillies,
yeah.
the third baseman that could really swing the stick?
And then starting pitchers too, like you can't go wrong with Pedro.
Yeah, like Randy
And
Johnson.
Yeah.
And I gotta
Schilling.
I gotta give him a
Clemens.
shout out. I had him on my team, but I had to get a Met on there, and I couldn't in good conscience because of how much he killed the Mets, put Chipper Jones in my lineup. But Chipper, I mean, if we're talking just best, he's got to be your third baseman.
Yeah, he was a stud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're ready for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
How about one more? If you could rattle one off your head, who would you put in if you could only pick one guy for the home run derby?
Oh, I Josh Hamilton. I'm taking Hamilton.
Yeah, Josh
Any
Hamilton.
What
day.
a blast to watch.
He would
man.
be a great pick. I mean, that guy just crushes it.
That 1 year, I don't even think he won it that year, but that 1 year, and this was when they used to do like outs. I think he hit like 27. It was ridiculous.
I don't know. Sammy Sosa in Milwaukee that 1 year was mind blowing.
I mean,
the distances he was
Griffey.
hitting.
All right, well then give me Mark McGwire the year that he set the home run record.
Well, and I tell you what, Griffey was really fun to watch in that home run derby too.
Yep.
With that just effortless swing.
But he was a guy you wanted to
Pete
root for.
Alonso has had some good home run derbies.
Yep.
Yeah, the home run derby is still like just such an epic event.
I love it,
Yeah.
even to this day.
So kids, parents, grandparents, all bundle up on the couch. Is it Sunday night? Saturday night?
Tuesday.
Maybe Monday.
Oh, the home run
I think
derby.
it's Monday.
I think Monday night.
the derby is Monday.
Derby's Monday, so then we get like celebrity softball the day before probably. And do yourselves a favor. Check out the home run derby. All-Star game, check it out, but you know, you're seeing more pitching battles in these All-Star games.
You guys remember, real quick, this is just popping into my head. You guys remember the one home run derby year, the round that Bobby Abreu had when he was on the Phillies?
Yes.
He hit an insane amount. It was like
Yep.
an insane amount of home runs where he just, and he wasn't your typical like guy you would think of in a derby.
No, but that kind of put his name in every
did.
household, really, that home run
Yeah.
derby alone.
Yeah.
Like always, we're probably leaving a ton of names off this list that would warrant being on them. So in the comments, drop your favorite ball players from this era. Say mid-'80s till now.
David Cohn.
Anyone that you watched growing up. Cohn.
David Wells.
Yes, come on.
Got to have a little attitude out there on the mound.
But thanks for following along again.
Tino Martinez.
Like and follow. Brendan's going to keep rattling off as we sign off, guys. We'll catch you next time from the Sports Mixtape.
Peace.